session here from Encoder Fashion, and I'm Rose. Today here we are going to create this basic oversized t-shirt with a custom made graphic. That right here, this is the graphic that I made, and I'm going to show you some simple stuff, the measurement as well as the formula that I'm going to use to draft this basic t-shirt. And we will use Close 3D to do this. Okay, so first of all, let me explain a little bit about the measurement here. So we have a measurement 1/4. I have the top length, and I have bust circumference, waist circumference, hip circumference, and so on. And part 2 here, we have formulas. So formula here where the number is set based on this basic drafting t-shirt. And guys, as long as you follow along with this tutorial, at the end, you will know how to draft a basic oversized t-shirt, then apply this custom graphic onto your t-shirt. And the cool thing about custom graphic t-shirt, guys, you get to actually promote your brand with t-shirt, and you can use that as a mock-up for your t-shirt design, as well as have an idea what the graphic looks on to the t-shirt before you apply onto the t-shirt. And with many of those t-shirt print demand out there online, it's kind of hard for you to apply the graphic and then to see what it looks like. In this case, I can test the graphic out first, and then I can bring it into the many of those online websites, and I will list a few below on you can bring your graphic in, and then they pretty much print the shirt, ship it to the customer. And in fact, if you guys in North America or in certain country in Europe, you will see this t-shirt design listed under my video. Okay, so before we okay, so now we are going to go to Close and then draft this pattern. So let's get to Close here. First of all, let me go in, and then I'm going to load my avatar here. I have my own avatar. You can use any avatar right here in this avatar folder, and then select V2 and then come down here to load avatar. Oh, I'm going to load my avatar here. So my avatar, if I can find it, because right here I already linked the folder into Close. So I'm going to double click on that folder, and then I'm going to select my avatar, double click, and then load her to the workspace. All right, so I'm going to show the floor here, and let's draft the pattern. Once again, I'm going to referring to the formula, guys. So first, I will use this rectangle tool here, click one on the page, and I'm going to type in the measurement of this t-shirt. I have wrote it down on my page here. So I'm going to type in the top length. So first of all, the top width. The top width, we will use this hip circumference, 24.5. And then the top length here we use for the height, 74. After that, I will click on OK. Okay, so right now I'm going to move the pattern up a little and then zoom it in so we can see it better. And I'm going to come over here to this 3D toolbar and then click on the reset to the arrangement or to reset the pattern. All right, so now we want to create internal line from the top and from the center. So this is when the formula and the measurement come in. Okay, so the formula here we have, I'm going to show you the formula part here. So the formula, excuse me, I'm going to show you the formula part here. So if we come down here, we will see the formula. All right, so this is important. Armhole depth, full shoulder length divided by 2 plus 4. So for example, in this case, I have 42 divided by 2, 21 plus 4, 25. So that is the armhole depth. That's a formula. And right here, shoulder slope, back internal line, we want to drop it down 1.5 and then 4 for the neck depth. And then we will have 1 and 1.5 when we draft the front pattern. And I will show you all that. And right here, this is important. Sleeve cap, we have to drop the sleeve cap to 12 centimeter. And guys, as long as you follow along, okay, this is when we draft the sleeve. It's so much fun, guys. So when we draft the sleeve here, we will use the measurement of the armhole, divide by 2, and then subtract 4. and you will see the result, and then the sleeve cap will fit the armhole perfectly. Okay, so now we're gonna go back to close and then use this number for now. So right here, top down and then center out. So center out, we will use the measurement from the data that we use up here, and you will see it makes sense in a minute when I show you how to do it. Okay, so first we're gonna go from the top down, 1.5, 4, and so on. All right, so let's do that. Go back to close, and I'm going to select here, use this edit pattern tool, and then click on here, right click, and we are going to select offset as internal line. So we want to have this line here to be 5. I'm going to type in 5, and then distance, we'll change that to individual, and offset from, we'll change that to selected line. Okay, and let's expand this window a little. And first, we want to type in 1.5. Then press on the tab key. Second will be 4. Then the third will be 25 centimeter. And then press on the tab key once again. And this one going to be 35. So that is the waist length from the high point shoulder to the waist. And here, press on the tab key. So this one, I'm going to type in 61. So 61 is the high point shoulder to the hip length from top down. Okay. So total we have 1.5, 4, 25, 35, 61. Perfect. And I'm going to click on OK. Next, we are going to start creating the internal line from the center. So click one right there, right click, and then I'm going to select this offset as internal line. And we want to change these to only 4. So simply click and then change to 4. Once again, expand the window. And I'm going to type in right here, 8.5. Press on the tab key. And then right here, let's use the measurement once again. All right, so we have bust circumference, 24. Press on the tab key. And then we have waist circumference, 22. And right here, last but not least, I believe this is the shoulder. So the shoulder width we divide by 2. So 42 divided by 2, 21. I'm going to type in that. So 21, that is the shoulder width. Now I'm going to click on OK. Okay, next I'm going to convert them to baseline. Simply click one on the page, right click, and we want to lock all pattern outline. And now I'm going to marquee select all these lines, right click, and then select convert to baseline. And simply lock these. After that, I'm going to unlock the pattern outline back here so we can operate on it. All right, so next we want to draw the back pattern shape onto this pattern. Simply use the internal polygon / line tool, and we want to begin clicking from here, then up here, then over here to the shoulder length, and then come down here. I'm going to click one right here for the bust circumference, and then come down here, waist circumference, and then come down here. We want to click twice right there to end the line. All right. So next we want to create curve of this armhole as well as the neck, and a little bit right here on this waist circumference. So I'm going to come over here and use this edit curvature tool. Simply start and then drag it in for the back. Next first, bring it out just like that, and then now for the armhole, simply drag it in slightly. And this one we will use different tool here. I will use the smooth curve tool. Click on it, drag it out, right click, and then type in. Before I'm going to type in, though, I want to click on the link icon here to link both links together. Then I will type in 7. So if we look at over here now, this is perfect curve onto this neck point. Onto this waist point. Next, I'm going to click on OK. There you go. All right. Next, we want to create front pattern. So front pattern, once again, guys, refer to the formula. So I'm going to use this edit pattern tool here and click one, So click one on this shoulder slope line from the back pattern, right click, and I'm going to select offset as internal line. All right, so offset as internal line right here, I'm going to change that to 2 and then type in here 1, and then press on the tab key and then type in here 1.5, then press on the tab key to confirm. And we want to check the reverse direction box. After that, I'm going to click on OK. Next, we want to create another internal line from the top here. That is for neck depth. So click on the top right here, right click, and then select offset as internal line. And I'm going to change that to 1 and type the value in 12 centimeter. And then I'm going to uncheck the reverse direction box. And now the internal line, place it where I want it to be. I'm going to click on OK. All right, next we want to convert these two baseline as well. Simply, by default, I already have that line selected. I will press on Shift and then click these two lines, right click, and then select Convert to Baseline. Then we also want to log them. Come over here, click on that log twice to log. All right, now we're going to draw the front pattern shape. Simply use the internal polygon slash line tool and then begin clicking one right here. Come over here, click on this top line right there. And then come over here, we want to click on this low line over here. So, and then I'm going to click on twice here to end. And now I'm going to create this curve. I'm going to turn these two curves as well. Simply use the edit curvature tool, guys. It's super useful. Click and then drag it in. Simply just right in a little bit deeper compared to back pattern. And then here for the neck, we want that to create curve as well. Just like that. And then I'm going to simply right click and then get out of that. So here you go, guys. Next we want to trace this as a pattern. To trace them as a pattern, first we will use the transform pattern tool. Click one on the back pattern and then switch the tool to the trace tool here and press on Shift key. And I'm going to continue clicking right here, right here, right here. And pretty much it. Then I'm going to right click, place the mouse over that, right click, and then trace as pattern. And I'm going to pressing on the Shift key here and then click one to place the pattern. Next, we want to make a copy of this. Okay, to make a copy, switch the tool to transform pattern tool. My key selects that pattern, right click, and we want to select symmetric pattern with sewing. And there you go. I'm going to press on Shift once again and place it over here. So we will place the sleeve over here. Next, click on that, right click, and then we want to select remove link editing. There you go. And now we're going to remove some part that we don't need to create the back pattern. Simply use this either edit pattern tool or this transform pattern tool. We want to click right there on that piece of the internal line or internal shape and then press on delete or backspace on the keyboard to delete. All right, so take a little bit of time for my computer to process. Okay, so next we want to do a little different here. So I'm going to use the tool here. So first of all, we want to cut this part, but we don't want to miss any piece of pattern. So what we're going to do here, we're going to move this pattern outline out. So when we cut, we don't miss anything. So I will use the edit pattern tool here, click on the pattern outline point, drag it out just like that. And now if I use the transform pattern tool, click one on that pattern or internal line shape, right click. And if I select cut here, now I cut the pattern perfectly. Let's delete that piece because we don't need it. So right here, now the pattern has the perfect shape. Next, we want to literally clean this pattern a little bit. Okay, to clean the pattern, let's just unlock the baseline here and then use the edit pattern tool. I'm going to click on the pattern we don't want here and then delete them. Just like that. And then I'm going to do the same here. Simply click on the one we don't need. Just like that. So it is important to leave the line that could be a guideline that we can use it to modify the pattern later. But some line we don't need it. I'm going to convert this curve point, these two curve point here. So some line we don't need because it is distracting and we want that to a little bit clean. When you import or when you bring the pattern back into Flow, you want the pattern is as clean as possible, so it's less confusing. For let's say if you are new in pattern making world, when you look at the pattern, it's too many lines, it's confusing, or it's not in this enough line, it's also confusing. So you want the line that on there that kind of give you the guideline for how the pattern works, but not too many, because some line that does not enhance or guide you to understand the pattern, only some line. Let's say for example, this line right here for the back pattern, we can see clearly that it's a bust line, the waistline, the hip line. But this line right here for the back pattern, we don't know. So if I looked at right here and then I looked at the front pattern, I can guess that, okay, that is a neck depth line for the front pattern, but no reason to leave it on the back. We want to remove that, okay? And right here, I think this is also important for me as a pattern maker. You leave this as a guideline because you can actually have a tape measure from here. It's easier. And I'm going to kind of string them together to fit the pattern outline. Simply click on it, press on Shift, click on this, right click, and let's select extend / trim to pattern outline. All right, so now the pattern all looks kind of nice and clean. That's what we want. Let's lock the baseline back, and then now it is fun. Now it is a fun thing to do. We're going to create the sleeve. Okay, so guys, creating sleeve is like the most complicated for many of us if we don't know the formula. But with the formula, make sleeve drafting process so much fun and quick. Not only that, it's accurate, okay? So I will show you why. So let's refer back to the formula here. So the formula said, right here, bicep. So measure a finished front and back armhole, divide by 2, then subtract 4. Okay, we will do that. And I always have a notebook with me, guys. So use this notebook, and now you can actually use that to do the number. So okay, go back to close. First, measure this armhole. Press on Shift, measure it. So come over here to this property editor, and under selected line, we want this first number right here, 49.8, okay? So 49.8, we want to divide it by 2 and subtract 4. Okay, so I'm going to calculate here, 49.8 divided by 2. So we want to write down this number. This number also important, 24.9. All right. So 24.9. That is the true number, and we're gonna use that as well. So now we're gonna subtract 4 from that number, and now it's equal 20.9. All right. So these are the two values that we will use. Okay. So first we will use the 20.9 here. I'm going to select this rectangle tool, click on it, type in right here, 20.9, all right? And then the sleeve length, 27. This is a short sleeve. And then I'm going to click on OK. Next, we want to create internal line from here and from here. So using this edit pattern tool, click one right here, right click, and then select offset as internal line, and we're going to type in 12. So it is 12 already, so it is perfect. And then I'm going to click on OK. Now one from here, and this is going to be sleeve circumference, guys. So we're going to type in here 18. So this is the biceps circumference there, and I'm going to click on OK. Next, we want to convert them to baseline. Let's click one right here, press on Shift, right click, and then convert to baseline, and we want to lock them. Now we're gonna draw a sleeve shape. Once again, use the internal polygon slash line tool, click right here, and then click twice to end. And we are going to convert to curve here. All right. And then we want to perfect the curve. So as you can see right here, so the length right here, this is what we want, 24.9, okay? So I'm going to click and then bring it out until I reach that number. So it's close. And be aware of this, we want this line right here below this line. We do not want it up right there. And right here, we want to drag it out and create this 0.9. So as you can see right here, we can get exact to the point, guys. It's amazing when you draft the pattern with Clo. You get this perfect and accurate length compared to you draft by hand. And again, this formula, guys, works perfectly. And also enhance the sleeve pattern structure as well as the pattern itself. I promise. I use this formula, this method all the time when I was a seamstress. Okay, now I'm going to cut this and unfold it. So cut, and then I'm going to unfold it. to turn that into a sleeve, just like that, and remove this part we don't want, just like that, and bring it down here. So let's clean this sleeve as well. Let's unlock the baseline, and then I'm going to use that edit pattern tool and extend this to pattern outline. Perfect. Let's lock the baseline back here. Alright, so we're almost done, guys. Next, we want to create notches for the pattern. We also can label the pattern too, but if you guys want to learn more about how to label the pattern, I have the video link below. Check it out. In this case, I'm going to simply create notches and then sew the pattern as well as placing the graphic design onto the t-shirt. Alright, here we go. So I'm going to create notches, simply use this notch tool, and we want one in the front for each here and then two in the back. So simply start here. So right click, hover the mouse over there, right click, and then we will type in here 9. So if we look at right here, this is the yellow line that we want. We want to create the notches from the bottom up. And then click on OK. Do the same right here. Right click and then type in 9. And then click on OK. And here we're going to type in 11. So click on OK. And the same here. 11. Click on OK. Here going to be 9. Same right here. Alright, so now we finished creating notches. Next, we want to place the pattern onto the avatar. Alright, so before we are going to do that though, we want to reset this pattern. Simply come to the 3D toolbar, click on this reset 2D arrange all to arrange all the pattern like that. Alright, another thing we want to do. I want to move this pattern out of the way. Simply bring it up here. And then I'm going to right click and then select freeze. So before I'm going to freeze though, let's unfreeze first. We want to reset this pattern again. We want this pattern up here. And then I'm going to right click and then select freeze and then select hide 3D pattern. Alright, next we want to place this pattern. I will come over here and then use the show arrangement point and then place the front pattern first. Then press the sleeve. After that, I'm going to place the back pattern. Alright, now the patterns are placed onto the avatar. Next, we're going to sew them. I will use the segment sewing tool first to sew the shoulder to shoulder, and then, sorry guys, making sure a little bit slow, and then sleeve. After that, I will switch the tool to free sewing tool here. And click over here, hover the mouse to the right, click here, and press on shift. We want to click from the front here, right there, right there. Now I'm going to click right here. Perfect. After that, I'm going to make a copy. I will use the transform pattern. So first of all, guys, it's time to save our work, okay? Because if something happened, now we actually have our work saved. So go to File, and then select Save As. We want to select Save As Project. And then I'm going to type in light, t-shirt, lid, copy that. And I'm going to create a folder here. So to my desktop, and I'm going to paste here. So light t-shirt, let's put the date too. So January thing gonna be in there. And I also will create a tutorial with making this t-shirt, but I will cut out all those, edit out all those mistakes, so it leave you just the perfect guide and it save you time. However though, for those who like to see the mistake, how I do from start to finish with everything, you can watch this live tutorial. You get to see the entire thing. With the tutorials that's not live, I will cut out all the mistake and then leave just the bullet point where you can get from point A to point B, point C, and save your time that way. And it's dependent on you. If you have a lot of time and you want to see, oh yeah, I made mistake, blah blah, all those stuff, you can simply turn on this live video, you get to see the entire thing. Okay. All right, so I'm going to extend this 1 centimeter for the front. We want to select offset pattern outline here though. And over here, I'm going to type in 1. So by default, I have extend and the number offset 1, that is perfect. And we want that perpendicular, it's awesome. And then I'm going to click on OK. And next, we want to simply remove this point. We don't want that point right in the corner. And now I'm going to create a curve, just a little bit right here. Use edit curve point, edit curvature. And then just create it like that. Slight curve would do. And I'm going to remove this point too. We don't need that point at all. Just like that. Alright, so now we're ready to make a copy. So simply use transform pattern tool. My case selects all the pattern pieces, right click, and then select symmetric pattern with sewing. And let's zoom in, and I'm going to press on shift here. Perfect. So right here we have back pattern with back, front with front over here. And now I'm going to sew this back pattern together as well as the front, just like that. And let's simulate. Okay, it's not bad. So next I'm going to create this neckband to give this t-shirt look. So to create the neckband, we want to use this edit pattern tool here. Okay, first of all, let Command or Control plus letter S to save here. And I'm going to measure this front right there. So right now I have 15.65. I'm going to create a neckband. So 16.65. Right here the width we want 16.65. And then the height we want that to be 2 centimeter. And I'm going to create the number of shape 2 and then click on OK. Next, let's bring that shape up a little here. And I'm going to bring this one to the back. Alright, so let's adjust this neckband here to fit the back. I'm going to use this edit pattern tool here and let's measure this back. Next, so 10.7. I'm going to turn this to 10.7. So use this transform pattern tool, click one, double click on the center, and then click on this edge right here, drag it in. Right click, and I'm going to type in this width here, 10.7. Then I'm going to click on OK. Alright, so double check. So always double check your work, guys, because it saves you time in the long run. You don't want to wait till the end and then we double check and then the length wrong. I did it, which is awful. So now it is 10.7. Click right here, 10.7. That's worked perfectly. Okay, next we want to shrink this to 90% smaller. To do that, I will click right there. And then once again, double click. And I'm going to. Alright, so first of all, let's sew it. Just so we can see how the pattern work on there. So I will unfold this neckband first, okay? So click on the center, right click, and then we want to use this function right here. Unfold symmetric editing with sewing. And I'm going to do the same with the front here. So unfold symmetric editing with sewing. And now I'm going to use the segment sewing tool and sew the pattern together. And the same right here. Right here. Okay, I kind of twisted. I'm going to use Command or Control plus letter B here to untwist the sewing. And let's move this over there a little. Alright, so now let's place them onto the t-shirt. My case selects both of that right there, the neckband. Come over here to this 3D window. Hover the mouse over the gizmo, right click, and then we want to select superimpose side. And now the pattern right there lays perfectly on top of the garment. Alright, let's strengthen before we simulate one more time. And okay, so we have a little bit issue here. Let it simulate a little bit further. So right there, let's stop the simulation here. And I'm going to adjust this up a little. And let's simulate one more time here. So now it works better. Alright, so next we want to sew this side of the neck together. I'm going to use this segment sewing tool, guys. And then let's simulate it one more time. Okay, so I kind of got it twisted here. So let's untwist that sewing. So I'm going to simply click on there and then Command or Control plus letter B to untwist the sewing and then simulate one more time. Alright, so now it works perfectly. Alright, press number 2 here. Let's stop the simulation. So right now the neckband looks awful onto the t-shirt. So I'm going to let unstrengthen and then simulate one more time. So this is what we want to fix, the neckband. I'm going to first shrink that to 90%. Use the transform pattern tool, click one to select, and hover the mouse over that center point, double click. And you will see these red points appear. Click this edge right here, drag it in, right click. So instead of change the width, we want to change the percentage right here to 90. Then click on OK. I'm going to do the same right here with this back neckband. Click one, double click, click on the edge, drag it in, right click, change it to 90%, and then click on OK. Alright, let's simulate one more time and to see the effects. It is better, but it's not even close to look like a t-shirt neckband, isn't it? So let's change a little bit here. We want to apply elastic onto this top here. Click right there and right here. Alright, before we are going to apply that, let's see what is the formula said. So to apply the elastic, we want to change that to what percentage. So right here, shrinkage elasticity. Shrink to 90%, perfect. Elastic, we want to apply that 5 and 90. So let's come over here, go to elastic, and we want to turn on first and change that strength to 5 and then change this ratio to 90 and then press on the tab key to confirm. Now let's simulate one more time. There you go. So right now this is look more like appropriate for a t-shirt, and that we're not done yet, guys, because we want to apply the fabric property to make this t-shirt looks like a t-shirt. So let once again Command and Control plus the S to save here, and we are going to apply the fabric property as well as fold this angle. So a t-shirt will have fold here and this hem as well as the sleeve. Let's create the fold first and then we will go to fabric. Alright, so next we want to create the hem for the sleeve as well as for the shirt. Simply click one right here to start, press on shift, click one right here, and then click one right here. And I'm going to right click and then select offset pattern outline. Next, so by default here I have extend 3 cm and create internal line box to check. Come down here, be sure you check on this default corner and then extend. That's what we want. I'm going to click on OK. After that, we want to create internal line. To create internal line, I'm going to click right here. Once again, right here and right here, right click, and I'm going to select offset as internal line. And by default, I have number offset is 1 and distant individual selected line. And I'm going to change this to 6 cm. Okay. Then come down here. I'm going to select this extend. That is perfect. And I'm going to click on OK. Alright. Next, we want to fold this. To fold this, first of all, let me check this if I can fold them. Perfect. Look it over here. It looks pretty good. So I'm going to strengthen this pattern. And then let's simulate here. And I'm going to stop the simulation and turn on this internal line right there. So we want to fold, and I'm going to turn off this baseline. So simply come over here, use this fold arrangement tool, click one right here, then fold it up, then come to the right to the property editor, and we want to change this fold angle to 0 and then turn on this fold strength. I'm going to do the same right here with this back pattern. Click one right there, fold it in, and once again fold strength, turn it to 0 and turn on the fold rendering box. And now we're going to do the sleeve here. Click on the sleeve here, bring it up, and then change the fold angle to 0 and then fold rendering to on. Next, let's simulate. Okay, so I'm going to hide the avatar for now and change the tool here. So I'm going to show this pattern. Simply use the segment sewing tool and sew this hem together. Next, simulate one more time here. And we also need to update the sewing right here. And also over here. Alright, let's simulate again. Perfect. I'm going to unstrengthen here. I want to see the fabric. Okay, so right now we're almost done, guys. All we need to do here, apply the fabric property and the graphic, and then we will have a final rendering onto this t-shirt. So I'm going to come over here and then change this fabric texture to slick texture, okay? And then let's apply the fabric property. All right, let's first all save. All right, I'm gonna go to fabric here, double click on it, and then I'm going to type in here knit and press on return enter on the keyboard, and I'm going to grab one of the. So my favorite one here, knit, I use, let me see, right here, knit fleece terry. Simply click, drag and drop onto this fabric one right there, and let's strengthen it again, and you can see right here, now we have different fabric texture. Okay, so some glitch going on here. All right, so right here, it doesn't seem like it's happy. So we want to do a couple of things here to fix the issue. Let's see. All right, so right here, I'm going to redo the sleeve because the sleeve itself seems a little bit clunky here. So to redo the sleeve fold, I'm going to simply cut that, okay? And right click and cut. And this time I'm going to use the mirror function. So click right there, right click, and then I'm going to select offset pattern outline, and instead of use extend, I will change that to mirror, and then I'm going to click on OK. Now I'm going to simply fold this again. Before I'm going to do that though, let's strengthen this, and then I'm going to simulate. Next, let's stop the simulation and use this fold arrangement tool. Click right here, and then fold it in, and come over here, change the fold angle to 0, and then fold rendering box is on. And let's simulate one more time and stop the simulation. Now we can sew this once again. Use the segment sewing tool. Hopefully it fixed this time. And also update the sewing. And simulate again. Alright, so now it's fixed. Perfect, guys. Next, we are going to switch the tool here to select smooth tool, and I'm going to do a couple more things here. So we want to simply unstrengthen, and next we can apply the graphic. So to apply the graphic, I already have my graphic in here already. If you're not, be sure to link it in. So I'm going to click on my graphic right here. So t-shirt graphic, double click on that folder. Okay, first of all, I have to clear the search box before my graphic show. And then I'm going to click on the 300 dpi guy. That's when you bring in to close, then it gives you more of this high resolution. Alright, so I have multiple graphics here. I can select any of these I want. I will select this one instead. So right click and then select add as graphic. After that, I'm going to click one right here on the center, like that for the front pattern. And leave everything as is, and I'm going to click on OK. Once again, guys, apologize for my computer a little slow. Okay, there you go. So I'm going to simply click and then drag it down here. And I'm going to scale it, click on it, and then scale it to make it a little bit smaller. and then bring it up a little. All right, let's hide these internal lines here and also show the avatar. Okay, and let make it a little bit bigger. All right, and I think that is pretty good for now. And let's change the color of the shirt. So I'm going to click on the transform pattern tool, click on the fabric, then come down here. So I'm going to click on this fabric swatch here, and I'm going to use this eyedropper tool, guys. Click on it, and then I can click and pick the color from this. I can select any color I want. So yellow, gray, olive. It's like, let's see. I kind of like yellow, but not so. That is super cute. A little bit yellow is, ooh, that's too yellow. All right, so it's like a hint of yellow. Ooh. And I can also, oh, that is the right color for me. I'm going to press on escape here to get out and then click on apply and close. So there you go. So next we want to, wow, guys, we're almost there. We want to apply top stitches and stuff to create this realistic look. However, though, I'm kind of run out of time here. Right now it is more than an hour, and I'm going to save this project for now, and we will continue with this with the next live session. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoy this live session, and we will come back with this continuous live session and finish applying the top stitches as well as change the particle distance to make the shirt rendering much more like a better quality. However, though, let's strengthen one more time here to see the last result before we come back next week. All right, thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned. Next week, we'll come back and continue with this. Thanks so much, guys. Bye for now. Bye-bye. Hi, Design Star. Welcome to